Okay, hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss relative velocity in one dimension. It is a newer topic. Okay, so we are finished with revision topics. Now, this topic is very important because this topic is very conceptual and many numerical are there which are depending on this topic. So you have to remember the formula and you have to remember the concept, and also you have to remember that today I am only going to discuss motion in one dimension. Okay, so motion can be in east or west or north or south. It can never be in between. So we'll be discussing one dimensional motion only. So suppose we have a hippo who is moving towards each direction with 20 meter per second. So the hippo is moving towards wall with 20 meter per second. Okay. Now, if the hippo looks at the wall, see what he will see. So if the hippo will look at the wall, he will see that the wall is moving towards him with 20 meter per second. Now please remember this concept. When you are moving towards something, you feel that that thing is moving towards you. Okay, so relative velocity is all about that. So relative velocity is velocity of any object measured with respect to any other object. So when I am moving towards a wall, in reality, I am moving, the wall is stationary. But with respect to me, if I'll see the wall, with respect to me, I will be the stationary and wall will be moving towards me. Okay, so this is the concept of relative velocity. So when velocity of one body is measured with respect to another body, it is called as relative velocity. So if you are measuring velocity of A with respect to B, so velocity of A with respect to B will be given by VA minus VB. So VAB is velocity of A with respect to B, and also VBA will be velocity of B minus velocity of A, that is velocity of B with respect to A. So velocity of B when A is watching B, and the first one is velocity of A with respect to B. It means velocity of A when B is watching A. Okay, so we'll take one numerical from which you will understand the formula. Suppose we have Mrs. Green and we have Mr. R. So Mrs. Green is moving towards Mr. R with 10 meter per second and Mr. R is moving towards Mrs. Green with 20 meter per second. So I want to find out VGR, velocity of green with respect to red. So if you'll see, velocity is a vector quantity. Okay, so if I take this direction to be positive, then the opposite direction will be negative. So velocity of green will be plus 10 meter per second and velocity of Mr. Red will be minus 20 meter per second. So I want to find out VGR, velocity of Mrs. Green with respect to red. It means if Mr. Red will be watching Mrs. Green, then what will be the velocity of Mrs. Green? So VGR will be VG minus VR, putting value of VG 10, putting value of VR minus 20, minus minus will be plus, so answer will be plus 30 meter per second. Now understand the meaning of this plus 30. This plus signifies that when Mr. Red is watching Mrs. Green, she is moving in this direction, and this is correct because she is already coming in this direction. So and the velocity will be 30 meter per second. So in reality she is traveling with 10, but for Mr. Red she is traveling with plus 30 meter per second. So this is the meaning of relative velocity. So relative velocity is when velocity of one particle is measured with respect to another particle, it is called as relative velocity. Now we'll take one more example. Suppose it is a train and a monkey is walking on train. Velocity of train is to be given to be 100 meter per second and train is going in each direction. So if monkey is traveling with respect to train, now remember this line. Monkey is traveling with respect to train in west direction, so in backward direction. With 20 meter per second, find velocity of monkey. So Vt is already given. Now velocity of train is 100 meter per second because this direction is positive, opposite is negative. And velocity of monkey with respect to train. So Vmt is given minus 20. Why minus? Because in west direction. So east direction is positive, west is negative. So it will be minus 20. So Vmt will be Vm minus Vt. So Vm minus Vt is minus 20. So Vm will be minus 20 plus Vt. So minus 20 plus 100 will come out to be 80 meter per second. So in reality, the velocity of monkey is 80 meter per second. So what you have to do is you have to first write down the given quantities. Second, you have to write down the equations. Third, you try to find out what is unknown in the question. Relative velocity is a very important topic for physics because the most popular theory of relativity and all. So all this consider starting from this topic only. Here we are taking velocities in in hundreds or thousand meter per second, but in theory of relativity the velocity is close to velocity of light. Okay, so please understand this concept well because we are again going to discuss this in motion in 2 dimension. So I'll be sending you a quiz that you to submit. If you have any doubt, you can WhatsApp me.